What's up guys, welcome back to another Halloween video. Today's tutorial is going to be on this super gory special effects zombie bite. So I'm using a lot of the same things that I've been using in previous special effects videos. I'm just using my SynWax from Mehron and coconut oil to moisturize my hands, So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a little chunk of wax and I am just kind of squishing it out into a little worm shape. And then I'm splitting that in half so that this is going to be one side of the mouth and the other half is going to be the other. So I am just going to be taking this with my finger and pushing it down wherever I want to start the bite. And then I'm just going to be blending this wax into my skin. You're going to do this on both sides of the wax so that it blends seamlessly into your skin and it looks like a swollen patch of skin, not just a mass of wax sitting on top of your skin. So it's really important to make sure you get that blended in well. And then you're going to add the other side wherever you want that to be. You can do these as close or as far apart as you would like, but just make sure to get all edges of the wax blended down into your skin very smoothly. Once the wax is all blended down, then just kind of take your fingers and pinch that upwards. This is again just going to kind of give the effect of swollen skin or raised skin. So for my little zombie teeth marks, I am taking the cuticle pusher, which actually ended up being a perfect size for these zombie teeth. And I'm just going to be digging out little chunks of wax to make it into a teeth shape. I found that it helped a lot to make sure that the end of this was dipped in coconut oil so that it was moisturized enough that it didn't pull all of the wax off of your skin. But as you can see, that left the perfect teeth marks. So now what I'm going to do is kind of color my skin, or take away color, I suppose. I want this area to look very dead and kind of decaying almost. So I'm adding a base of white, and then with some really watered down black, I'm going to be going over that to kind of give it a gray effect. And I'm just applying these with a beauty blender. After I have the gray base down, I'm going to go in with, again, some very watered down color to kind of give it a infected or bruised look. So I'm just taking some yellow body paint. These are all from Mehron. They're the Paradise paints, and this is what I use in almost every tutorial. So I'm just taking these, making sure the color is not real vibrant. I want it to be super watered down so that it looks like a dead infected area. You don't want it to look like a rainbow. So again, just kind of layering colors. If I feel like it gets too bright, then I'll just go back over it with some black. And as you can see, it just kind of is starting to give it a bruised look. Then once all of the colors are the way I like them, I'm going to be applying a thin layer of white over that so that it looks like all of that is coming through my skin. So on a tiny little brush that fits each tooth mark perfectly, I am taking some red body paint and just going to be placing that into each little mark for a base color. Then taking some really watered down red body paint, and I'm just going to be applying this with my finger all the way around the wound. This is just going to give it some more color and texture, again going to kind of add to the bruised or blood effect. But the really watered down color, just make sure that it's not too bright and overpowering. So I think you guys are kind of catching on to the theme, but I'm using really watered down black body paint, and I am going back over this red to just add a little bit of depth to the color, because obviously the bright red does not look too realistic. This is not going to be the end result color because I am going to be adding blood over this, but just in case the blood moves around or separates at all, you want to make sure you have a base color down so that it's not just plain skin underneath the blood. So then on my finger, I'm going back with some of this reddish black mixture of body paint, and I'm just going to be patting that out to add to the bruised effect. On a fluffy brush, I'm going to be taking a regular blush color. It's just kind of a rosy pink. And I'm just going to be applying this anywhere where you can still see the wax to avoid it looking too fake. So I'm just going to be, you know, patting this around wherever I feel like it needs a little extra color. Then I'm going to be mixing red and black body paint together on this little, I don't know what brush this is. It doesn't really matter. You can do this on any brush. And then taking the tip of my finger and literally just spraying this all over the area to make it look like blood splattered everywhere. Last step is fake blood. I am just using this blood gel from Graftobian on a small little brush, and I'm going to be applying this into each tooth mark. I'm going to be focusing the blood in the very back ridge of each tooth mark where it looks like the tooth initially sunk in, and then I'm going to be just kind of dragging this out towards the center. Once you're done with this step, your zombie bite is complete. So here's the finished look. You could add this to any Halloween costume. It doesn't just have to be a zombie. It would add just a creepy effect to anything you're going as this Halloween. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow.